Welcome to userXgaming. I'm Cameron Drake, and we are on Storytime Saturdays. We return to Pillars of Eternity and start our quest to find a way to our destination. We just had a soul wind, if I remember correctly, and the entire caravan was taken out, minus us three. So, let's keep moving. The story does develop as we make our choices.
That should be far enough. But what now?
We look for another way out. Storm has to die sometime.
Windstorm, of a kind they only get in Air Granthith. Not too many people live through them, so it's hard to know what's true. The Granfathan word is Beowak. To them, it's the god's way of reaping the souls of the land that couldn't find their own way out. But they'll take a living soul as soon as a dead one. Still got yours? Glanfathans. Those would be the hut dwellers Dima warned you about. Look to be fangs of Galawain, who are the twitchiest of the lot. They'll go ruin to ruin looking for fights with colonists. Poor Odima. I think he half expected this once we lost the main road. I don't believe that. Odima would never allow it, but as much as the fangs are hotheads, Glanfathans don't attack without being provoked. Either they saw something and got the wrong idea, or... She glances down the passage beyond. Or there's looters in here with us. That's not something we need right now. What about everyone else in our caravan? Kliska, lips pressed together and her chin rumples. Her voice is faint. The will's got a hold of them now. She looked up. God, grant them better luck in their next lives. Tessa looks at you in the eye, a volatile current running beneath her voice. Maybe you just don't know me well enough to know what upsets looks like. And maybe I've seen worse too. Seen worse and kept on walking. Because there's nothing else to be done. Because there's other people you care about who still need you. Yes. Wonder who was here. See if they left anything useful behind. Let's see. Mace Windu. No. A trembling, sickly creature emerges from the dark, clutching a spear, knobby elbows and thin ribs showing through his scaly flesh. You recognize it as an Zurip. It watches you cautiously, breathing in ragged sighs. The creature cocks its head and approaches you. Soft clicking sound emanates from the back of its throat. The Zerp recoils, fingers still wrapped tightly around its spear. The creature cocks its head and approaches you. The creature cocks his head and approaches you, a soft clicking sound emanating from the back of its throat. Ah.
Those
Look at the
tiles look
tiles.
suspicious.
What are those
Let's be
symbols?
careful.
Okay. This is when you need to go in scouting
Stay
mode.
quiet.
But then you also need to do this.
Found something.
Ah. Let's grab all this.
Wait. Do you hear that?
And guess what? Time to kill. And down it goes.
I could scout ahead, see what's around the corner.
What you saw me do is actually find an alternate route around this sucker. See? See. Gotta remember how to do certain things. Sadly. Aha! There's what I was looking for. something weird happened, so let's see. Okay. It's weird. But let's keep going nonetheless. Four figures stand before an otherworldly apparatus, an ancient structure of chiseled aura and metallic veins, ominous and looming like a silent observer. Standing motionlessly in their midst is what appears to be a human body, colorless as stone or ash. The other figures gaze upon it with what might be contemplation. From your vantage point, you are well obscured from their view. The figure closest to the machine stands out amongst them. A thick gray beard frames a face otherwise hidden beneath a metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with a runic language unlike anything you have ever seen, and he wears a strange black headdress with two protrusions that jet out like the wings of some malevolent creature.
Oathbinder, bear witness, and see this man has kept his word true to his last breath, full to his blood's last drop. Guide his soul, queen that was, and regard it among your favored. Let his life by the key be his confession. Let his death by the key be his absolution. May he walk the world ever free of the crushing weight of the book. Your brother has done his part, and you have seen the power of his contribution. I will accept no further hesitation from the rest of you. In the sight of the queen that was, will you fulfill the oath? Will you take your place beside your brother in the endless esteem of her memory that is without flaw? Step forth, and be assured of the great worth of your life's course.
And my thoughts? This is going to end badly. For an instant, the apparatus goes quiet and the air is still. Then all at once it erupts with a concussive surge. Light floods your vision and you are knocked to the ground. Your head snaps back as you land and the pain wells into the back of your skull, washing your last thoughts away into the black unconscious void. You open your eyes to a different place, another time. You stand in a circular room grand and domed, its walls lined with the Adra and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unweathered. At the far end of a great pillar of Arda pierces the floor from below. It shimmers texture, giving the illusion of boundless depth. Encircling the pillar is an apparatus much like the one you have just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Your thoughts are yours, and not yours, and they seem to exist before you think them. And they are all questions, pressing questions, troubling questions, questions that must be answered, or... At the base of the pillar now you see a man with a thick gray beard and ceremonial robes, crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. You know this man. You are walking towards him now, at a pace that is hurried while trying not to appear so. You have something you want to ask him, one question above all, and the question spins madly in your mind. You awaken to find your malice has broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible at the edge of your hearing, like a ringing in your ears that does not subside. Movement flips through your periphery, but when you turn to look, you can see no sign of whatever it was. You find your gaze regularly darting this way and that, an involuntary paranoid tick. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. The figures at the machines stand frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinders and ash. The man who led them is nowhere to be seen. Hayden and Kaliska lie bloody on the uneven cobbles, their bodies twisted unnaturally in death. You are alone, and far from help. Gilded Veil may be your best hope of receiving treatment before things get worse. And we level up. Excuse me. Sorry about that, folks. And that one weapon I had, let's see what happens with it. Still not. But it is quick, so I'm going to go with that. Ooh, this is weird. Now, how to deal with the fact that you know where one of the people that was traveling with you, where their next of kin is.
What's the hurry? Let's relax a while. I can think of a better place for this stuff. I can think of a better place for this stuff.
Good day to you.
This man appears to be in a hurry dismantling his camp in quick, jerky movements. He looks up as you approach, expression tense and drawn. "Greetings," he says, a little breathless. "On your way south, is it? You look to be a long way from home, meaning no offense. Not sure what brought you down here, but it's no place to go wandering alone." He wipes his brow, turning to face you. The sooner you're clear of these woods, the better, I think. You have a chance to answer. So, our caravan was attacked. I've been trying to get to Gilded Vale. Never mind the woods. There's a strange machine in the ruins up north. There were these figures clad in black, performing some kind of rite. Or you could ask, what's your hurry? And it's like, he goes, I'm only passing through. I need to reach Gilded Vale. I'm going to ask something, because it seems strange he's in such a hurry. The man looks down at the tent, and then at his hands. I mean to follow my own advice. Came out here on a hunt. Me and a friend of mine. Thought we'd bring a stag home. Eat something other than bread for once. Came up on a bear instead. Great monstrous thing. And Pearly? He didn't make it. He shakes his head. I don't know what I'll tell his wife. In any case, this force already cost me a friend. I'm heading home before it takes anything else. We didn't see it coming. Norton's voice shakes a little as he speaks. We were following a stag. Clearly he saw something in the brambles, and we went tearing off after it. We all but stumbled into the cave. Poor Pearly didn't stand a chance. The bear was on top of him before we knew what was happening. The beast will take what they will, I suppose. He smiled sadly. And this time, Galloway's favor fell upon the bear. In any case, in a cave a ways up that way. He turns to point towards the northwest. I won't seek it out if I were you. It was a great brute of a beast. Would hate to hear it took another life. Name's Norton. Born and raised in Gilded Vale. Haven't had a spot of luck since. Luckier than Pearly, I suppose. And with that, I'm going up this way. What would you know? Aha! I'm attacking twice compared to...
How about we take a break?
And there's the bear cave. And guess what? There's the bear. Ouch. Let's see what happens. So, yeah, that fatigue might be a bad thing. So before we move, let's do this. I thought I had some... Well, that would help a lot. Why was that in the frickin'... That's weird. But that being said, I'm going to do this. Might not mean much, but I'm giving a shield. And that being said, I'm going to actually save. Alright, let's try this again. And there we go.
Slow down. We got time to catch our breath. I can think of a better place for this stuff.
Now let's have a freaky moment. A figure drifts suspended in the musty air of the caverns. Its forms and features blur and twisted, cascading ripples of incandescence. You feel its energy eddying around your limbs, filling them with heavy chill. You reach out a hand for the spirit. In a moment of contact, you feel as if you have been struck a blow, head reeling as you tumble helplessly into the waiting darkness. Light blooms at the edges of your vision. You feel the sun at your back and the weight of a bow in your hand. You know suddenly that you have come a long way from the Vale, hunting deer. Now you are standing before a cavern, and the darkness extends far into its depths. Even so, your friend strides out before you, his red cloak flapping at his heels. You follow, heart hammering in your chest, as he leads you deeper into the cavern. There is a roar like thunder echoing around you. Fear seizes you, casts you stumbling back towards the exit, towards the light and escape. You see a glint of steel, and there's a sudden, terrible flash of agony behind your knee. You scream, stumble, fall. Your thoughts are chaos, lanced through with pain. But in a moment of terrible clarity, you see your friend look back. From the mouth of the cavern, his dagger daubled in crimson to match his cloak. And then there's a great dark shape above you, and then there's more pain. The vision recedes, and you are thrown back into yourself with a seemingly resentful force. The corpse lies at your feet, and the specter lingers in In the span of energy between you both, you feel a sense of questioning, of confusion, of anger. A sudden lashing anger emanates from the spirit. Rage and grief steam to pour from the gleaming figure like smoke. And I choose I'll find him and see that he answers for what he has done to you. Spirit, for a moment, the spirit seems to burn bright, and your head fills with a sickly triumph. The spirit seems to weaken with the force of its own exhalation, growing fainter and fainter until they are alone once more. You'll find more out about the character that you're helping, to be said. But still, this is a matter of how do you choose to play? You'll see in a few moments what I mean. But I have another task that I'm going to, because this seems off. So, let's go this way. Ooh, what's this? Ah, a wolf. Attack! Attack! There she
How about
goes.
we take a break? I can think of a better place for this stuff.
Oh, well. No luck there. The young dwarf tending to the stew looks up, startled as he sees you approach. He drops the ladle, splattering the stew across the ground. What? Gather your dogs and make sure our new cook don't run off. Help, please! Help me! One of the bandits give Tinfrith a kick as they pass it, and he huddles.
I can think of a better place for this stuff. I can think of a better place for this stuff.
Well met, friend.
By the flame, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I thought I'd be stuck cooking for these ignorant weasels for the rest of my life. Until they were bored with me, I suppose. I must get back home. I only hope they haven't hired a replacement. The dwarf looks aghast. Listen, next time you're in Gilded Vale, stop by the Black Hound Inn. I'll let Pasca know just what you've done for me, and I'm sure she'll do right by you in turn. Oh, to be back home at my oven again. Not quite the dwarf you would expect, would it be? Alright, let's get back over. And head over the bridge. And off we go to Gilded Vale. As I said, I probably said in the last video, but this game really is a love letter to classic RPGs. As the last video I did was...
What's the hurry? Let's relax a while.
Baldur's Gate. That is directly responsible for this game. It's inspired so much of what this game is. And it heavily influenced the genre as a whole. Let's keep going.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
Do you welcome everyone this way? The only answer you hear is the buzzing of flies from the tree.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever conceived a Hollowborn child? An infant born without a soul, of course. Lord Radric has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village. I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly toward the deformed tree.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then. after the bell tolls from Radrick's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
He regards you carefully. You'll want to remind where you mentioned that. Trespassing on Egwethlin ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. But wrath have mercy. We certainly have. He polishes his spectacles on the sleeve. If you had been that close to a bivouac, you wouldn't be standing here. I forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Dryerwood for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to a whisper. Children born without a souls. He shakes his head. Pitiful dumb things that breathe, barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows, but they began spreading after the Saints' War. And so name Waidwen's legacy struck in honor of their foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. As is your duty. What was happened? A man called Naughton has killed his friend Pearly in the wilds. A cruel and cowardly deed, if indeed it could at all. Whatever's here. I'll go find some. These are not accusations to be made lightly.
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radrick, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all. But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that. Keep out of...
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed. 3 bells toll only for the death of a Radrick. I fear Lord Radrick's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
You've come to us at a time of mourning. The legacy is stuck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Bereth must be redoubled. It is no threat, only a warning. Lord Radix will tolerate no threats to his kin, or those who live upon his lands. Grief will not make him more docile. I'll know more details when the messengers arrive. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps, but that is not your concern. I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest. The inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
A strange way to talk about the dead. Half of the town's up there now, seems like. No right way to talk about it. My condolences. You see 4 people gathering by the door of the inn. Their raised voices and chopped gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm, his face partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
We're humble folk, but we're no fools, not like he thinks, mocking us while he shelters in our village. We don't take that kind of talk from foreigners, especially not Eldrins.
Go on, say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Why, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
That's where you're wrong.
As the last of the attackers fall, the elf turns to you and the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation. Well, that is one way of putting it.
He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidered on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine.
I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvusser, at your service.
Please, I don't mean to drag you into this.
Well, I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Oh, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. And half the locals will arrest you for trespassing, and the rest will kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there? And you survived? I've heard such a thing was impossible. Well, it seems you either have a knack for timing or the favor of the gods.
Just how did you manage to cross those drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
As I tried to tell them, they misunderstood me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. For just a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, biting his lips so hard you'd expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies.
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. He has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
I expect that such expertise would be best sought elsewhere.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places. As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers. Excellent. I shall follow you.
And I just gained my first companion. And this is where I needed to go to finish one of the quests that I picked up. Or kind of skipped a step.
Welcome.
Hello, and welcome to the... Oh, it's you! Tenfrith told us about what you did for him. It's such a relief to have him back. I can't thank you enough. Consider yourself a favorite of the house. Discounts on drinks, rooms. Tenfrith said he wanted to whip up something nice for you. He's already back to work in the kitchen. So what would you like? And considering where I am right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with a common room. And ooh. I forgot about this. Wait. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in the front of the Gilded Vale's gallows tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman, whose face has shriveled inward, like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly her head snaps up and her eyes open, and they are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts with a gust of rancid air. She speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with a new, queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. And at this point, our time comes to an end. And I say thank you for joining me. And this is userXgaming. And I'm Cameron Drake, and I wish you a good day.